How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Kedman Sports. Today's team is going to be created off of another request that was left in the comments of my last video, which was asking for kind of a Florida A&M type team using their color scheme of the kind of a light green and orange and white. I did the best I could with trying to replicate that color scheme based on the logos in the game. I didn't have any ideas for something to create. So the logo that we're going to end up using is kind of like a turtle here. And you can kind of see the green and orangish yellow in the logo, which is the closest I could find to what Florida A&M had. So this team is going to be called the North Florida Coast Leatherbacks, and it's going to be in Jacksonville, Florida. And so you can fill in the rest of the information there. And then when we get to the colors, the green is going to be a 100, 200, 25, and then the yellow, orange, I'm just going to refer to it as yellow moving forward, is going to be a 255, 175, 25. To get it as close as I could to that Florida A&M color scheme. It's a difficult one to replicate, but I can tell you that already this team is better because of the logo. Florida A&M, in my opinion, has one of the worst logos in athletics, like across the country, just because it looks like it was designed in 1995 using a word processor and never updated since. It's a cool color scheme because it's unique, but the logos are just pretty awful. So for this one, we're going to use the turtle, referring to the team as the Leatherbacks. And so we're going to put the turtle on both sides of the helmet, and we're going to flip it on the left side so the turtle is facing forward on both sides of the helmet. And then for the base color, we're going to keep it white, and we're going to make the face mask white as well. I thought about using green. I think it would be way too much green given how much is in the logo. And then I think yellow, it just wouldn't quite look right. So we're just going to keep it white, and we're going to make the face mask white as well. And so for the stripe, we're going to put yellow on the inside with green on either side of it. And I think when you see the stripe, the white really helps in this aspect too, just because it's very bright. And so having the white kind of helps balance it a little bit more. I think if you would have used one of those colors for the full helmet, it would have just been overwhelmingly bright. So for the font, we're going to use the electric font because I don't want to put anything across the chest. North Florida Coast and Leatherbacks are both really long and would look kind of awkward, so just putting nothing across the chest is the best option. And electronic is one of those fonts that takes up a majority of the uniform, so it looks better when you don't have anything across the chest. For the color, we're going to use the green, which I think is the better of the two options here. I probably will end up doing another team that has a yellow jersey, but when you think about putting either yellow on green or green on yellow, I think this is probably just going to be the lesser of the two evils almost. And so for the stripe, we're going to put yellow on the inside, and then we're going to put white on either side of it. And this is to help pretty much create a barrier between the green and the yellow. I think that if you would flip this and do a traditional stripe with the white on the inside and yellow on the outside, it would just almost run together on the sleeves. It just wouldn't look right. Whereas if you flip it and you do it this way, it looks a little off just in the fact that you don't usually see white as the outer stripe, but it is a little bit easier on the eyes in terms of brightness. So for the collar, to try to keep it as simple as possible, we're just going to do green on both the collar and the collar stroke. For a similar reason as how we did the sleeves, if you do yellow, I think it's just going to be way too bright. For the numbers, then we're going to basically replicate what we did on the stripes on the sleeve, and doing the yellow on the inside with the white on the outside, which actually for this uniform works really well because it actually does look like the older electronic scoreboards where you have the light bulbs individually creating the numbers. With the yellow and the white on the outside, it actually looks pretty authentic to that. For the pants, then, we're going to stick with white as the main color. Again, I think if you would use green or yellow, it's just going to be way too much. So keeping it simple with white, and then we're going to replicate the helmet stripe on these pants using the yellow on the inside with orange on the outside of both. And then for the socks, we're just going to keep it just a solid band and stripes as the same color, making them both that green. Again, yellow would be too much, I think, so just keeping it the solid color is going to be the best option here. So as we finish up the home uniform and transfer over to the away uniform, I did want to note one thing. I did see in the comments a bright yellow color was asked for. I definitely think I can do that. I'll have to kind of play around with the logos in the game to see what's available that I could use. I will say there is going to be a team that I will eventually create that will be in Pittsburgh. And if you're familiar with Pittsburgh teams, with the exception of the University of Pitt, they're almost all black and gold, so I'm going to make the team that I put in Pittsburgh black and gold. So that might be where that bright yellow comes in. But now that we're over onto the away uniform, same thing as the home uniform. We're not going to put anything across the chest, and we're going to keep with that electronic font. For the stripes then, since it is a white jersey, we're just going to replicate what we did on the helmet again, and keep it simple in the fact of just kind of keeping that consistency with that stripe running through. For the collar, we'll do the same thing that we did on the home uniform and make it the same color as the base jersey color and keep it white. And then for the numbers, I do like keeping the, I guess you could say, the light bulbs of the logo or of the number yellow. I think that's the best option. And so then for the outline around them, we'll make that green, just because you can't do white. It doesn't look as good as the home uniform, but it's kind of the only option you have here unless you want to throw in a black or a darker color. And really, this would be the only time you'd use it in the whole uniform, which kind of is odd. So then for the pants, we're going to keep that green color and use the same stripe on the pants that we did on the home uniform, basically taking the home uniform and flipping it, and making the jersey now the pants and what was the pants now the jersey, which is actually pretty common. And then for the socks, we'll keep them the same, and that'll conclude the North Florida Coast Leatherbacks. So thank you for watching. Thank you for the comment and suggestion for a team to try to replicate and experiment with. Keep leaving those comments. Go ahead and subscribe, hit the like button, give a thumbs up, and I enjoy seeing your guys' requests, so keep putting them in the comments.